Hi, my name is Michelle Rose. I recently completed my novella titled Ignition. Please listen to the prologue and first chapter of my book. I hope you enjoy listening to it as much as I enjoyed writing it. Thank you. Prologue. It was the happiest day of my life. Graduation. I was thrilled to wear my cap and gown while my loved ones cheered me on when I received my master's degree. Afterward, my husband, Billy, my parents, and I went out to celebrate at a nearby steakhouse. My family reserved the steakhouse only for special occasions. Silk red linen tablecloths eloquently draped each table. On each table a candle was dimly lit. Next to the candle was a rose in a small crystal vase, which smelled delightful. We toasted the night with glorious sweets and dry champagne. I felt so alive and filled with elated emotions that I wanted the night to last forever. After graduation, I consumed myself with the repetitive, depressing, continual job search. I went from school to school to try to land a teaching job. One interview I had did not go too well. I could tell the principal was not impressed with me. He seemed quite posh, mainly because he was principal for one of the best schools in the district. At this point, I was panicking. School would start really soon and I had no prospects. However, I did have one interview left. I hoped and prayed that I would be hired and start living my dreams, educating the young minds of today. Chapter 1, A New Journey. August 24 was a magical day for me. Not magical in the sense of wizards and sorcerers, but rather in the sense that I, Karen Woolsworth, landed my first teaching position. I was so excited. I could not wait to go home and tell Billy, my husband, that all that hard work paid off. 2 long years of rigorous graduate school finally over. Taking all those teaching exams and suffering for hours with a proctor staring at you, sizing you up while tapping her pencil and distracting your every thought when you needed to be in control at that time. The day started out dreary. I woke up to rain. I spilled coffee in one of my suits and had to go to the interview in my navy blue suit and white blouse. It was not my favorite, but it had to do. I hoped that spilling coffee on my suit did not mean bad luck. That morning, my curly dark hair stood as frizzy as can be. I felt like a cat that just had gone through a car wash. Imagine how he would look. Well, the spilled coffee delayed me a bit, but I raced for my interview as fast as a jaguar runs, and I made it right on time. I was lucky that I did not get a speeding ticket. Billy would have been quite upset if I had. I also would have missed my job interview. Oh, what a shame that would have been. When I arrived at West Street and Ninth Avenue, my nightmare began. There stood a lonely building called Charles Dickens School. This was a 5-story building with 1,500 students. The school consists of 6th through 8th graders. I was able to see that this was an old, musty building with no elevator. As I walked into the horrific huge school, I felt so small, but there was an aroma of endearing books which made me feel quite elated. I was in awe. I grew up in the suburbs. I had never been inside an urban school before. This was quite an adventure for me. I was so excited and nervous. As I walked up the 3 small steps, I was greeted by security, a man in a blue uniform. I gave him my driver's license as proof of ID and signed in. He told me to turn right at the first door, and on the left was the main office. I would then have to meet with the principal. I thanked him and went on my way. As I walked down the long, narrow corridor, I remember my heart was beating fast, and my palms felt sweaty. It reminded me of a first date, but much worse. The principal, Mr. Scott, a tall man with a mustache, asked me many questions. He started the interview in a friendly manner by shaking my hand and asking me if I had found the school okay. At this point, I remember that his smile turned into more of a serious face, as if to say, "Let's begin." He asked me, "What made you want to go into teaching?" I do not even remember what I answered him, but he must have been pleased with my response. During the interview, there was another person in the room as well. This person happened. Hi, my name is Michelle Rose. I recently completed my novella titled Ignition. Please listen to the prologue and first chapter of my book. I hope you enjoy listening to it as much as I enjoyed writing it. Thank you. Prologue. It was the happiest day of my life.